Hello, I'm Cody Moreland. This is my final oral review. In week one, research was done to share personal thoughts on two places one would want to visit. This was a great way to build personal connections and can be done in a high school classroom as well as a get to know you icebreaker. I look forward to using this assignment in the future when I'm educating our youth. In week two, we made a migration trek. This is a great way to include technology into the classroom. Exploring Google Earth allows one to share places and pictures without actually being physically present there at a specific time. This is helpful in many careers. I utilize this a lot in the military on different terrain features and different different landmarks, and we also utilize Google Earth when we were setting up for a mission where we were going to be breaching multiple different houses. And it was a way that we used to take snapshots and label our buildings and help build our sand tables and graphics for our maps. Uh, in law enforcement, we utilize this a lot as well. If we have places that we're going to serve a search warrant for or something like that. This is something that we utilize a lot to look at the house specifically, find out how many stories it is, find out how close the neighbors are, find out the color of the house, the descriptions. It's easy to look at the Google Earth image and be able to articulate in a search warrant, hey, the vehicle looks like this, it's multi-story, so on and so forth, of what we're looking for. Key pieces to our investigation. Uh, so then this was, I believe, week three's assignment. And in week three, we talked about the different languages that are spoken and the pros and cons to the official language. It would be the first time the United States would have an official language. Many argue all historical documents and legal documents are in English. Therefore, that should be the official language. However, we are able to learn and interact with others of different cultures who speak other languages. It is a great way to create positive, diverse interactions by supporting and learning multiple languages. It can help increase the trade opportunities and communications for corporate operations around the world, creating endless job opportunities that would promote economic stability. Now, I'm one of the people that believe that yes, English should be our official language because in the careers that I've been in, most of our rules, regulations, doctrines, laws um, are written in English. So I would feel that people would have to learn English and be able to speak English to understand that they're committing laws and they're committing crimes and breaking the law. Religion. Many religions have symbols or sites that relate to and show significance within their religion. Understanding different religions is key to being well-rounded in history. One does not have to accept or practice religion to be understanding and respectful. Religion is in schools is very tricky and subject and oftentimes a very tricky subject and oftentimes avoided. Finding ways to introduce, educate, teach religion without stating personal opinions or making students uncomfortable will be the key to successful history classes at the high school level. When I get there and I'm eventually teaching them, allowing students to research on their own and find facts is a great way to put the learning on them and allow them to learn history through innovative technology research. I feel that so far in this class, what we've done is, we broke the ice, and we talked about religion. We talked about English. So we opened up a lot of sensitive subjects that are sensitive subjects in America. And continuing on, we start to talk about the history of our country and farming and how big farming is in America and how much it has developed over the years and the different things that have made farming much easier instead of harder labor than it was in the past. There's a lot of different tools and tractors and balers and different things that have developed and made farming a lot easier, which is great because that's how we all eat. Essentially, we people grow the crops and then that's what we have to eat. They also raise cattle and different things. So I feel like that was a good subject to talk about is on how our country has grown in the farming communities. And I thought that it was a good thing to talk about, especially because here in Kansas we know that farming in the Midwest is pretty important to a lot of people in our communities. Some people that live in the bigger cities would argue that farming's not that big in the community, but really it is. Electric cars, solar panels, greenhouse, and just a few ways America is becoming more sustainable. We talked about the more sustainable environment uh, as time has gone on farmland and rural areas are becoming less and less. So that's something that I hit on in my assignment for that week. I talked about how communities are essentially getting a lot bigger and our it's getting into our farming communities and our more rural communities, such as I'll give an example here in uh, Leavenworth County, where I grew up. I left for 10.5 years and went in the military. And I noticed that when I came back and I became a deputy here in Leavenworth County, I was traveling some of the roads and I'm going down the road and they're trying to teach me geography. And I'm looking around, I'm like, man, for some reason, I remember this road as gravel, or that's a new housing development. That wasn't there a few years ago when I lived here. And so it just shows that things are growing and taking away more and more of our farming community, especially here in Northeast Kansas. Out west, it's a lot less populated. But here in Northeast Kansas, it's almost like all the cities are trying to combine themselves. Uh, Cities are even more populated and people are not as economically friendly as they once were. Recalling past ideas and ensuring we keep our planet clean is key and crucial to human life. We must educate and promote ways that help keep making our country a sustainable place to live. We also talked about how utilizing our own resources. I talked about in my assignment for this week. I talked about utilizing our own resources here at home is pretty key to becoming a more sustainable country. This is my oral review for the final assignment.